How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, Taco Tuesday, and we've got quite a show for you. And I want to thank all of you who are coming to the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com. It's only $2 a month, I know, but it adds up, helps pay for the lights, the air conditioning, the air ventilation and filtration, the spam and the tuna fish. But no, seriously, thank you guys very much for ponying up, sponsoring, and supporting our efforts. So let's kick this out the gate with the big one. We're being censored, whether you like it or not. We're being propagandized, whether we believe it or not. We're being indoctrinated at every turn if we allow ourselves. And if they can't control us, then they'll just fucking kill us. Literally. I have election fraud breaking news today. Not one, not two, but 6 German political candidates have died. These are AfD, Alternatives for Deutschland. It may as well just say anti-World Economic Forum candidates have died, quote, suddenly and unexpectedly before major elections. Isn't it funny, folks, how elections have dead people who are leading in the polls by incredible margins and they just die? It's almost like the CIA, Mossad, and Interpol are arkanciding the enemies of the World Economic Forum, the European Union, NATO, Israel, and Washington, D.C. It's just funny how that works. Could it come to America is the next question. Yes, it can, because yes, it has. America has had a lot of political assassinations. The most notable in my lifetime was the assassination attempt on Reagan. Just before my time was the assassination attempt on Kennedy that, well, it wasn't attempted, it was successful. But also Tricky Dick Nixon. I think it was Squeaky Fromm was supposed to have killed him, but she missed or something like that. Those are high profile. There's lots of little assassinations, but mostly it's character assassination. But when the propaganda, lies, hypocrisy, and outright bullshit don't work, I guess the best defense is, well, bullets in your enemy's head. Questions of yours down below. We're going to have a nice show today. We're going to be nice. We're going to be calm. We're going to be prepared for shit hitting the fan, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, please. Now, I've got a wonderful story about immigrants. You guys know how I love the immigrant thing. We need more of them. There's not enough. I don't think there can ever be enough. And I'm bullshitting you. They're awful. And they are rats on a sinking ship. And they'll even eat each other. Get this, folks. Well, huh? Scumbag illegal immigrants have reportedly murdered each other when their boat broke down near the Spanish Canary Islands. Every time, folks, it's them. If they can't kill other people, I guess they kill themselves. Just unbelievable. Do we need more of these people? Yeah, we can't have enough of them. Well, there's not enough. By the way, the woman who was arrested for threatening to kill President Trump is now on the loose. You bet, folks. The Obama-appointed judge, James the Ass Boasberg, has released her. Surprise, America, when you make a credible threat to the President of the United States, we're just going to let you out. Right? It's not like no one has tried to kill Trump. Apparently, we had some guy named Crooks give it a shot, and then some guy named Root to give it a shot down in Florida. One got off a shot, the other one didn't get a shot off, but it's okay. We'll just allow people like James Comey, former director of the FBI. What a sack of shit he is. He writes, right, 8647 means take out Trump. No problem. We can have all of these threats. Just let them back out on the street. I guess kind of like how England lets rapists back out on the street. But if you criticize those rapists and pedophiles, you'll go to jail. It's unbelievable, but believe it, folks. And Queer Starmer, that's right, you heard me right, Queer Starmer was on television talking about how England is a free speech society. Tell me there's not censorship there. It's beyond censorship. They'll just fucking throw you in jail for criticizing them. Talking about it. Good God. I mean, where are the souls of these people? I thought American woke tards were the dumbest, the worst, the most evil, the biggest traitors. Well, I guess England wants to give them a run for their money. Now, speaking of giving someone a run for the money for being the absolute fucking worst, President Trump says Israel is, quote, winning the war, but they're not winning the world. Just wow. He also said that Israel is going to have to get that war over with. So what does this actually mean? Trump says Israel is winning the war. This is the war in Gaza. This is the war against Palestinians. Or is it against Hamas? Or is it against anybody who's on the other side of the wall? They're winning the war. They truly are just fucking decimating Gaza. But they're not winning the world. Yeah, Trump said the words out loud. Israel is pissing everyone off. And see, they're going to play the regular political game, which is they'll stop doing what they're doing. Everyone will calm down. Everyone will forget. There'll be a new distraction. And Israel will start its bullshit again. They're going to have to get that war over with, says Trump. Well, in order to do that, Israel is going to have to completely wipe out all the women, men, and children, whether or not they are Hamas. They're going to have to take them out, kill them. That's the only way Israel says they want to lose. In fact, or win. It said they want the Greater Israel Project. Crazy, folks. The world is pressing for more and more war. And speaking of war and idiots, mindless morons, Houthi rebels, and not Houthi and the Blowfish, but Houthi rebels in Yemen have threatened, quote, dark days, end quote, for Israel. Is this, or no, wait, this came after Israel used airstrikes to kill the prime minister in Sana'a, which I guess is the capital of Yemen. Yep. The Houthis, who claim they're backed by Iran, stormed 2 United Nations offices to get their point across. They're pushing for war in the Middle East. They're pushing for war down in the Persian Gulf. They can't get enough. They really can't. What do you guys think of this shit? Do you think international war can come home? Or do you think America just picks the side that pays the politicians the most? I really hope they don't plan on sending Americans to die in these wars. I don't know what they're not doing it right now, but they're planning it. Well, let's bring it back home a little bit. A Clinton judge has gone full retard and has decided to block Trump with an insurrection ruling from the bench and says Trump cannot deploy the National Guard to Los Angeles. On top of that, this moronic judge stated Trump has violated posse comitatus. What do you guys think of that? I mean, posse comitatus, that sounds like a good time on the weekend. Actually, it's not. But after all other presidents and their historic use of the National Guard domestically, including up to this week even in Washington, D.C., all of a sudden, a liberal judge in a liberal court finds a new liberal law to stop Trump. Well, created a new law. See, this is exactly what was in the Declaration of Independence, folks. This is the Constitution and contains the Declaration. How the courts were used and abused by the British in revolutionary times, pre-revolutionary times. They would arrest somebody, put them up on false charges. They would make up laws. They would bring in their own people to stack the jury bench, if they even had a jury bench. This is what tyrants do. They use the courts to make new laws and ignore real law. Shit is hit the fan, folks, and it's going to continue. At some point, we're going to have a people's purge. Now, let's keep the ball rolling, keep the ball moving. A Muslim bacon lover and speaker at Michigan's, quote, People's Conference for Palestine. That sounds American. So this Muslim speaker has incited violence. He is calling for assassinations of United States, Israeli, and European leaders who oppose Palestinian statehood. Look, opposing Israel isn't support for Muslim Palestinians. Opposing Palestine isn't support for Israel and genocide. All Middle East nations seem to be retarded, perverted, and murderous. I mean, to me, it feels like it's the Prepared Mind, Middle East, what the fuck are they doing in our country's show? Because that's basically what it is. They're going to be the problems. Whether it's the Israelis or the Palestinians or Iran, they're crazy. They're fucking nuts. They're knuckin' futs. All right, well, let's step away from that zone and let's go to this zone. We now have panic in Caracas. Everyone knows that Caracas is in Venezuela. The dictator there, Venezuelan dictator, Nicolas Maduro, is saying the United States government is seeking regime change. Well, of course they are. That's what the CIA does. That's what they do. That's all they do. I don't know what else they do, but right. So Maduro also says that, he warns Trump that if regime change happens, it will, quote, stain his hands with blood, end quote. It's such a descriptive term. You know, you got blood on your hands. Well, I think every leader does, whether they like it or not, whether it's justified or not. Once you order airstrike, a recon hit, once you do that, people die. There's blood on your hands. It's just, how do you deal with it, right? But Nicolas Maduro is kind of upping the game. And folks, I hate communism, but I'm not going to condone nationalized murder. That said, if Maduro is committing war crimes and human atrocities, he should be removed, shouldn't he? I mean, can't we make that argument that if the leader of a country is a horrible human, is a murderer, a genocidal maniac like Hitler, right? Shouldn't we get rid of him? I mean, all nations that commit atrocities or genocide should be handled accordingly, right? Right, Israel? Everybody? We're going to find out. This whole situation that continues to brew in Venezuela with the American military just off the coast. You got Navy and Marine Corps there. It makes us wonder, is this the art of the deal with guns? We're bringing guns to the table now? Well, it could be. It really could be. Right? Who was it that said this? Walk softly and carry a big stick. Yeah, that would actually be Teddy Roosevelt, President Teddy Roosevelt. But Trump sends to talk very loudly and rattle his saber quite a bit. Just one mistake by one idiot, right? Now, I've got an idiot that has made multiple mistakes I want to talk about. Multiple mistakes. But luckily, there's not going to be war because of it. Federal Reserve banker Lisa Cook, right? She is the swarthy DEI piece of shit. She has declared primary residence at her place in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Whoops, no, it's actually being rented out. Folks, these woke Federal Reserve mobsters have been polled, and most of them say they want to keep this DEI fraud of a banker, Lisa Cook, seated. Because we need someone like her, a 3-time loan fraud, should be making decisions for your money and your retirement funds and how things are handled, huh? Just unbelievable. It is idiocracy. It truly is. Woo! I tell you. What do you make of that? If Jerome Powell won't tell her to step down, look, you don't have to resign in disgrace. Just fucking resign, right? Don't go away mad. Just go away. But she won't, he won't. The entire Federal Reserve is showing us how it too is corrupt. If they allow Lisa Cook, 3-time right loan fraudster, how many other frauds has the Federal Reserve committed? I mean, in fact, we still have the whole, why did the Federal Reserve private bank use 2.5 billion American taxpayer dollars to remodel their fucking bank? We still don't have an answer to that question. We still haven't seen a set of handcuffs. We haven't seen shit, have we? I mean, was that Trump's thing to go, okay, look, Jerome, we'll take the $2.5 billion and eat it, and I'll stop calling for you to be prosecuted. That's right. He never did get charged for lying, did he? As long as you, Jerome Powell, in September start bringing down interest rates. Do you think Trump could have put the muscle to him? Do you think he could have arted the deal to him with a little bit of extorto bribery? Is it possible that he said, I'll keep your sorry ass out of jail and out of the headlines as long as you start, making some policy? It's possible. Is it probable? Hell, I don't know. I'm not in Washington. But I do know that Lisa Cook has declared primary residence on 3 different home loans. I could see moving to one place and then thinking you're going to live there, getting a loan. But then you go back to your other place and say, fuck it, I'm going to live here instead. I decided I like it better. I could see an accident like that happening. You move for a little while, then move back. How do you deal with that? I guess Lisa Cook moves a lot. Uman says some reporter went to one of Lisa Cook's primary residences and the door was answered by a renter. Yes, I believe that is the one up in Ann Arbor, unless she's now got 2 rentals. Wouldn't surprise me, right? It's funny. These people aren't happy with giant, shiny leather seats to put their giant asses in. They can't be happy making $250,000, $500,000, $1 million a year. They can't be happy with that. They have to buy houses and then rent them out. Just unbelievable. Truly unbelievable to me that this continues to get away with. And where's Pam Bondi? Where's the Attorney General's office, the Department of Justice? Why aren't there charges being filed against Fat Ass Fannie Willis, Letitia James, Lisa Cook, all of them? Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff's wife has also signed the papers. Yeah, I guess so. Well, these people are a bunch of liars, cheats, thieves, frauds, and, well, dumbass hypocrites. And speaking of dumbass hypocrites, the reason these Democrats stay in charge and power is because there are dumbass Democrats out there voting. I'm going to tell you a nice little story about one dumbass young communist who ended up being perfectly humiliated and exposed as the hypocrite that she is during a debate on capitalism with a conservative businessman. He decided to issue a proposition to this little communist. He offered $2,350. Why that number? Why not make it really juicy? Well, he offered $2,350 to this student to renounce her American citizenship and move to the communist country of her choice. This guy did say he would even pay her ticket. What a glorious thing to offer. Well, she refused his offer, claiming communist North Korea, Venezuela, and Cuba weren't communist. Is she that stupid? Is she? Right? Do all the he-she's out there actually know how bad communist nations are? I think that they might, because every time they're told, well, go live in a communist country, they won't do it. They will not do it. I mean, I can't blame them. I don't want to go to a communist country. They suck. They really do suck. But I think it should be mandatory for them. If you want to be a socialist or a communist, you have to go live there for 5 years, and then you can come back and vote. Because I'm sure by the time you're back after 5 years of communism, you'll have it all figured out. I mean, don't you think that makes sense? A lot of stuff makes sense. I think Americans should travel around the world as part of a learning program. And I'm being actually literal here. I don't know how feasible it is, but send them around the world. Send them somewhere, right? You think Indians are great to have around? Go live in India for 2 years. Go live in Iran for 2 years. You think Muslims are great? Go live in Jordan or Syria. Hell, Gaza. Go live there for 2 years and get back to us. And then you can tell us how to fix all of our problems here. I would love to see that happen. Well, they come here and they see how we live and they love it. In fact, we have people in this country making it, well, easier for them to come here and screw us over. In Jacksonville, Florida, my adopted home state, there was a massive commercial driver's license fraud scheme, right? Commercial driver's license, CDL. Imagine this. 5 people were arrested in Jacksonville, including a guy named Vladislav Jurashik. Sounds American, right? Because he's giving licenses to worthless, unskilled, illegal invaders so they can make our highways less safe. Isn't it amazing? Everything Democrats touch turns to absolute poop, turns to absolute crap. It does. This is another example. It's a downstream pain, right? All these illegals come in. They want driver's licenses. All they got to do is, well, bribe some people in the Department of Motor Vehicles. You can always feel the love at the DMV. And imagine that. All of a sudden, you've got a great job driving a truck. Only in America. Yeah, I tell you. And only in America, folks. You probably remember the name Judge Chutkan, because I mentioned her in the past. Judge Chutkin is back in the news. And an appeals court has absolutely excoriated her, right, for being a scumbag, partisan, communist Obama judge. Now, what did she do wrong this time? Well, I can tell you what the appeals court sided with. They sided with Trump. They're slashing billions of dollars of Green New Deal climate giveaways, your money being given away to another country, and Trump tried stopping it. And lo and behold, Judge Chutkin got in the way. But an appeals court has ruled and said, Chutkin is a piece of work. I'm trying to be nice about this because I'm just a nice guy. Yeah, Judge Chutkin, another political stooge, another sellout, another charlatan attorney. Okay, folks, I tell you what, Taco Tuesday. I sure hope you have good plans on your mind. What I want to do is I want to hear what you guys are thinking. I know we're all very excited about Trump's announcement having to do with Space Force. Was it Huntsville, Alabama, Uman? Yes, Huntsville, Alabama is the home of the Space Force. Uman says, so Trump's big announcement today was Space Force's home is to be in Huntsville, Alabama. Figured to be another giant nothing burger with extra nothing, and you were satisfied completely with that nothing burger. We've been promised. Psst. Q says, big announcement coming. Hey, I heard it from a super secret insider squirrel who's got friends in the Pentagon that used to get analyzed at the CIA, and they said Trump is going to come out and he's going to pay off everyone's house and arrest every single Democrat. Don't tell anyone I said so. Yeah, it's more of this nothing. Everyone gets all worked up. But I think even the Trump administration likes to say, okay, it's September 2nd, 2025. On February 11, look out, because I've got a big announcement coming. February 11th, you stand by. Right? That's a game. It's a fucking game. It's to get people's attention, hold it, and then I guess just fucking smash it on the rocks. Just destroy it. Well, any way you look at it, folks. Let's do this. Let's move on. Let's go to the inner circle. Your guys' thoughts, comments, questions, predictions, and humor, too. And we're back. All right. Hey, Mr. Uman, let's have some fun. Who's up on the Prepared Mind channel? What do we have going on? He says the military just shot up a boat leaving Venezuela and claim it was loaded with drugs. Well, this is one of those odd situations, is it not? Well, it is. In all truth, it is. If the military says there were drugs on there, now hold on to that thought, Redneck Roughneck. If the military says, you would hope that they have good intel, right? That someone's done their recon job and gone and found out they're putting stuff on. And after they sink the boat, shooting it up, sinking it, shooting it, shouldn't they have some evidence of the drugs? And how did we know where the drugs were heading? Or is the United States now the policeman of the waters in the Caribbean Sea? That's right, Pirates of the Caribbean. We're back. Yeah, and Redneck Roughneck says, does shooting up that boat mean we are now at war with Venezuela? The answer is a resounding no. What was shot up was a private vessel that was allegedly carrying lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of high-dollar, high-density drugs, cocaine, opiates, whatever. It was not a military vessel. It may have been in international waters. And then again, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was still in Venezuelan waters. I don't know, don't have the answer, and you never know who to believe. I wouldn't believe anything coming out of Venezuela, and I only believe half of what comes out of the military reporters because the media fucking lies anyways. But yeah, no, we're not at war with Venezuela. If it was a Venezuelan military vessel or government vessel, that could be seen as an act of war. Right? That's I think the big difference. Now, why did they shoot it up? I have not seen any footage, Redneck. Why did they shoot up the boat instead of, well, boarding it? Or were they trying to board it? It refused, so they shot it up, jumped on board, and discovered it was full of drugs, or rather, confirmed it was full of drugs. It's hard to know, but we're not at war. Nicolas Maduro is not happy. The world is tense, and I still think it's about oil. I really do. I know Venezuela has gold reserves, but I think it's about oil. Okay, thank you, Mr. Redneck Roughneck. And Uman, where shall we course next? And it is Mike Cruz Sr. And he says, hey, John, what's this Israel-Yemen Houthi crap going on? What say you? Well, the Houthis in Yemen are sponsored and backed by Iranian Hezbollah, and they're armed and financed by Hezbollah. Hezbollah is the terrorist wing of the Iranian religious government. Fuck. I don't even know how to describe it anymore. It's I have no love for the Muslims in Iran any more than anywhere else. In any event, that's what's going on. Is Israel hates Iran. Israel hates Hezbollah. Hezbollah hates Israel. They used to supply Hamas with terror weapons, probably still do to the extent that they're capable. But that's what we got going on. And by the way, I want to remind everyone that if the Muslims were good to their word, if they weren't liars and bullshit artists, they would have lived up to their word and stopped Israel the moment they started bombing Gaza. Remember when they said, you bomb Gaza and the Muslims from every nation are going to attack you and kill you? Not happening. No other nation has attacked Israel. Even, Hezbollah got into it with missiles in Iran, did they not? Well, basically, Iran and the Hezbollah terror group are fighting the Israelis through the Houthis, kind of like the United States government and the European governments were fighting Russia through and using Ukraine's military. It's a proxy army. The Houthis are a bunch of proxy toads. And there you have it. I think that even Colonel McGregor would have a hard time arguing with that explanation. Okay, Mr. Human, let's have some more of it. What other SHTF news and activities are happening? And we got Mikey G checking in. Says, if you can't blind them with your brilliance, you baffle them with your bullshit. That's an old saying, and that still applies. That applies to, well, geopolitics. It applies to school board meetings. It applies to press conferences with political figures. It applies to the military. It applies to everything. And I think it's being used more and more frequently. But you shouldn't have to baffle them with bullshit. If you have an actual moral high ground or intellectual plateau that you're working from and trying to raise everyone else up to that level, you're not going to get that with these bullshit artists. Not going to happen. But that is the philosophy. And that's what they do. And if they can't baffle you, then they'll blindside you. And I mean that literally. Thank you, Mikey. Mr. Uman, what do we want to discuss next? What's on the board? What's everyone talking about behind the scenes? And we do have, well, Mr. Diving Frog has taken the time to check in. I want to thank everyone who checks in on a regular basis. I love it. Diving Frog says, John, our country has passed the point of no return. The people are too timid to revolt. I'm one man. What can we do when they come to our door? That's a loaded question, and I'm going to answer it. I'm going to honestly answer it. But this is not advice for you, Diving Frog, or anyone else. This is not incitement. This is not dangerous or harmful behavior. This is talking about the assumption that the United States of America has passed the point of no return with respect to the government honoring the Constitution, which we told it governs it. If we're past the point of no return, saying it cannot be restored and fixed, we've got problems, do we not? And your observation that people are too timid to revolt. Well, I like to say a lot of people are too timid to revolt. Most people, I think, are too comfortable to revolt. I'm very comfortable. Check out all the food on my shelves. I'm very comfortable. Why should I revolt? Why should I be the first one to get nailed down, right? There's a Japanese saying, don't be the nail that stands up the tallest or the firstest, because you'll be the one that gets hit, right? So the first person that stands up tallest is going to get hit. You're the first nail. Well, it's going to happen. It always does happen. Eventually, one or more nails make themselves apparent. But people are too timid. Yes. Way too comfortable. Don't want to lose your house, your job, your car, your 401k bullshit retirement. You don't want to lose those things, right? Your reputation. You don't want to lose your life, right? Who wants to just go out and die, right? So one man, what can we do when they come to our door? Now that's a completely different question, right? I think it is it's a loose non sequitur to the concept of being past the point of no return, right? There's past the point of no return, meaning, well, we can't vote and fix things. Trump is trying now. All of a sudden, he's like, he signed an executive order saying, have to show ID to vote, have to vote in person, right? But if we can't get that back proper across the nation, yeah, we are past the point of no return. Now, so there's past the point of no return on a timeline, right? So here's the point of no return, you get past it, right? And then what? Things get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as time progresses. A state becomes more authoritarian to handle problems, and the more problems a country has, the more excuse they have to be even more authoritarian and use force. And that's when you go, well, people are too timid to revolt now. Yes, but let's just see how far it goes before people start talking revolt. Now, when they come to your door, that is a completely different question than revolting against an evil, tyrannical, despotic government. Okay? When they come to your door, that means they're rounding people up. What choice do you have other than that? If they're coming to your door to charge you with false crimes, to throw you in prison, to execute you, if you want, you can drop to your knees, let them cuff you and just put a bullet in the back of your head, or you fight. At that point, yeah, you're one man, you're one woman, you're one person, but you're also one of many. And a lot of people get courage when they see someone else standing up. How do you think all these limp-wristed, low testosterone pussies in Antifa and other left-wing groups, how do you think they get out there and burn, loot, and murder? Well, it's because they're emboldened by the crowd around them. When they start coming door to door, whether it's the government or whether it's Hamas and Palestinians or whether it's illegal aliens, it doesn't matter. If they're coming around door to door, it's a shooting gallery. And I think Americans will be emboldened by that. And the police, if they don't stop it, I say they have forfeited all authority. The badge means nothing if you're not going to actually serve and protect. Look what's going on in England with their serve and protect, huh? The cops there, what do? What's their favorite pastime? Arresting old women and children. Old men, weaklings, cowards. They're just arresting them. Now, anyways, interesting topic. We're going to end up visiting it more often, I think, because people are going to be saying, I'm frustrated. There's nothing else to do. We've tried everything. Nothing's worked. It doesn't get better. We know the country, because it's polled, has been asked, do you support this cockamamie socialist government, or do you want freedom, right? And people say freedom, and we're getting nothing but more socialism. Good golly. I listened to an excellent speech today on, socialism, Marxism, economics, and what Trump is doing. And that actually was also about fascism, which is what we have. Even communist China, knowing that communism is a terrible economic model that always fails, so they've adopted fascism as the business model, while ruling is iron-fisted commies. Crazy world. I mean, what's next, right? All right. Okay. Well, let's have some fun and keep this going. Oh boy. Potential spam tried calling me. You guys know spam, my good buddy? Oh, good golly. Okay. Judge Chutkin. Let's do it. Ooh, man, who's up next? We got Redneck Roughneck. He says, I'm hearing that the Pentagon is moving 600 military lawyers into immigration judge positions. Have you all heard anything about it? The answer is no. I have not heard anything about it. It is another interesting topic, and it kind of falls in line with our discussion yesterday that had to do with bringing up military tribunals. Right? How do we fix a government that can't be fixed? Try and keep it constitutional without the people, us, me and you, having to actually revolt. How do you fix it? Well, somebody somewhere has to have the authority to convene military tribunals and then arrest the bad guys, arraign them, just like any other court, present evidence, allow them to have a defense, have the jury decide, except military tribunals don't fuck around. Having said that, the military is full of a lot of Obama and Biden's communist officer corps. A lot of them. Perhaps they should be arrested too for being communists, because there's a lot of them. We are in, folks, very bad trouble. We are in a shit it's the fan world. We have hardcore socialist communists trying to take over this country. We have hardcore efforts to create pedophilia and genital mutilation and standardize and normalize it. We have illegals that are here that want to bring in their drug cartels, their violence, and even their pseudo-religion. I'm talking about Islam. Right? That's what we're up against. 600 military lawyers would be a great thing if we could substantiate that. If we could prove it, I would be all for it. I think there should be some military-style justice. I mean, Trump just got done saying that taking out that drug smuggling ship is, quote, there's more where that came from, end quote, right? That's really what we're hearing about. If they're doing what we would like them to do, redneck, which is, set up the military tribunal system for massive arrests and prosecutions and sentencing, right? They would want to keep it quiet. But how do you keep 600 lawyers quiet? I don't think you could. And if it was going to be military courts or tribunals for traitors, you would think that the media would get wind of it, and the mainstream media, and they would go absolutely apeshit and say that Trump was committing treason, yada, 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 yada. And that's where we're at with that. Okay, Mr. Uman, let us roll again some more. We got Uman says, my truck driver friends are telling me they're getting more loads since they started cracking down on non-English speakers. How about that? Americans get to keep their fucking jobs. Americans get to make money. Hell, they may even make a profit instead of just driving their truck into ground. Woo! Yeah, well, that's a big deal. It really is, folks. Truck driving. This nation runs on trucks, also trains, cargo ships, but without trucks, this nation is toast. And with these foreign truck drivers, Americans are becoming toast. So that's a good deal, man. I know that Oliver in his line of work deals with a lot of trucking firms, but it's good to hear. I imagine though that in Democrat states like Chicago, these foreigners are not leaving as quickly as they would, or as they are in other states where they're being captured and deported. I believe a lot of them are actually probably self-deporting, taking themselves out of the country. I'd like to see roads full of them the same way we saw roads full of them coming this way. And once again, what made these fucking foreigners think that we were going to feed them and house them and take care of them and give them everything we've got? Where the fuck did they get that idea? That idea is ridiculous. Even in their wildest biblical fantasies about heaven, it ain't like that. All they did was encourage the rest of the world to think, yeah, America can afford it. They could feed all those people and give them houses and phones and right. Uman says there are also reports that a caravan of 14,000 from Venezuela has turned back. Well, interestingly, the government of Mexico, if they give a shit at all, are lying. But the Mexican people, as well as other nations in Central America, aren't too keen on these migrant bands coming through their country, because while they're there, they're eating their food, drinking their water, they're crapping in their woods, they're committing crimes, and they're not participating or contributing to these smaller countries that have very small GDP, very small productive capacity and capability, and they can't handle loads of immigrants. It's good that I'm glad they turned them back. I would think that President Bukele of El Salvador would close his fucking border to anybody that wasn't legitimate. But, what do I know? I'm just a guy here in Florida. Okay, man, let's have some more. Let's have at it. We got 10 minutes left, and here we are, Redneck Roughneck, calling the man like it is. Jerry No Nuts, I call him No Nads. Jerry No Nuts Nadler, Democrat congressman, has said he will not seek re-election. No Nads Nadler is the asshole who wore his mask on his chin when Democrats had control of Congress and Biden was in the White House and they had everyone locked down. Old No Nads would wear his mask on his chin, literally. He put it over his mouth, had such a hard time breathing that he had to take it off and hold it off of his face. Just the guy's a complete jackass. Also, to me, Jerry Nadler, congressman, Democrat. it has been alleged that he looks like a pedophile. He looks like a big, swarthy, greasy piece of shit who would put your smorgasbord all you can eat out of business in one night. I don't like the guy, obviously. And that's how it is with most politicians and all Democrats for certain. I mean, there's just nothing to like. They're unlikable. Literally unlikable. Even John Festerman, Senator Fetterman, who has brain damage. Talk about a DEI hire, right? A diversity, equity, inclusion. We need to be represented by people with brain damage, right? Even he, no good, no bueno there. Yep, no nuts Nadler won't seek re-election. Oh, we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss his wit and wisdom, his charm. Oh, good golly. Okay, Mr. Uman, let's keep going. We got about 8 minutes left, and Uman says, "Oh, here we go. We had an earthquake, a big shaker in Afghanistan, a 6.3 on the Richter scale. Last that he heard, 1,400 have been killed, 3,000 missing. Also got some mid-range fives, as in earthquakes going on near a volcano in Nevada. Now, I need to call my son Lucas because that is big news. Up in Northern California, there's 2 volcanoes. One of them is active. The inactive one is Mount Shasta, which is an incredibly beautiful mountain. The other one is Mount Lassen, an active volcano in California. Every 100 years, it erupts. And right now, it is about 10 years overdue. There's always earthquakes up there. But in the fives, the mid fives, that's a pretty damn big earthquake. Good thing I built my houses up there in the general area to seismic zone 4 standards. In any event, folks, big news. Now in Afghanistan, if you make your house out of mud and cow poop, it's probably going to fall over in an earthquake. I don't even know what they make their roofs out of. Are they just flat roofs and they got mud and sticks drying in the sun with some cow shit on it? I don't know, but yeah, you live in a dry mud adobe house, it's gonna break. It's gonna break. It's not good. Not a good scene at all. Feel bad for people. That's how they were born. That's where they live. But not a good scene. Anyways, prayers for the good people of the world. Everyone else can fall by the wayside. As far as Northern Nevada, I'll get more information for you guys if something wild and crazy happens. Mr. Uman, what else have we got out there? And it's, by the way, Taco Tuesday. I've got one hell of a taco night. Redneck Roughneck says the Babylon Bee, which is an incredible satirical comic, is reporting that Chicago is suing murder victims for not dodging the bullets. Oh, good God. Of course they would write that. If you want good humor, folks, you can get it from the Babylon Bee. This is an unpaid endorsement for humor. They're on Twitter. They're on X. That's the best way to find them. Every now and then they'll put a video out on YouTube. Every now and then. But funny shit. Thank you, Redneck Roughneck. And now on to an ex-police community relations person from Milwaukee. That's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This director is now charged in an election fraud scheme that is being described as shocking. Shocking. I guess she illegally voted 12 times. The amount of cheating that's going on, folks. They found buildings, unoccupied buildings, where thousands of Democrats are registered to vote in, and nobody lives. Just an empty fucking building. Democrats cheat. Democrats lie. Democrats cheat. Democrats lie. Democrats cheat and Democrats lie. And that's all I got to say about that. Oh, man. Let me check the news real quick, folks. See if something has happened. Well, while we're away. Uh-oh. Seems like my news ticker got closed down. Anyways, instead of going that way, let's go with this. Gold today, all-time high. We closed on Friday at 3,500. We closed today at 3,600. Silver closed on Friday just over $40. Today, silver was over $41 and made it as high as $41.78. Now, if you did as Uman and Crispy Bacon and thousands of others have and bought silver and gold, right? You know that your wealth is being preserved, right? Or you can say, I'm making money on it. Or you can say your wealth is being preserved. The rest of the world, and in fact, the rest of my wallet is feeling the squeeze. It's feeling the squeeze of inflation. Because as gold goes up, it's actually also saying the dollar is going down. So what you and I earn in a day, in an hour, in a month is worth less and less and less. Gold and silver are going up. Other metals are going up. We're going to have a change in the economy. We're going to have a big change in the economy coming up here pretty soon also. We're going to go into a commodities and, well, on the one hand, it's going to be commodities, what has been mined and processed and is useful, and also what can super high tech do, artificial intelligence. Well, I guess I could let the cat out of the bag. I had a conversation today. It was a leisurely conversation, a friendly conversation with a highfalutin banker friend that I know. I call him friend because I consider him a friend. Handles billions of dollars in investments. He believes that the whole AI thing is a joke. Right? He showed me the AI that they use, but there's no way that AI can do what the human mind can do. It can rearrange things, it can create things, it can mimic, but it can't do it. We will, I think, lose a lot of simple jobs, simple administrative jobs that artificial intelligence can handle, like reviewing a tax form and making sure you did your math right. Right? But there's other things they can't do, right? Like figuring out human psychology so they would know where to invest, right? It's an interesting conversation because I felt the same way about artificial intelligence. One of the most frightening and frightful things, though, that I think that it will be used for efficiency or efficiently is for military applications. Military applications. Using them to control crowds, to control people, to kill people. I think that AI and robotics is going to have a nice home there. Weird world, folks. Are you prepared for what is coming next? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and means of self-defense? Do you have backup power, solar power? Do you have radio communications, at least to listen, if not to listen and broadcast? Are you prepared? I think we all need to be, because things are getting wonky and wacky.